this off, change hats for a moment and say good morning again. So I wanted to take a few minutes today to give you really just an honest update on our 2026 Stewardship Campaign. A few folks were actually a little bit nervous about letting me give this update because apparently I have the tendency to Ted Lasso things. Who's seen that? Watch that in the COVID times, right? Believe, right? I just often see the bright side of things, spin things positively, smell the biscuits even when the kitchen is on fire, okay? And sometimes that's true, but today I just want to be straightforward with you about where we are financially as a congregation and what the numbers mean for the year ahead. So as of today, we have received 62 pledges totaling $299,010, which is incredibly generous, truly. And the session and I are deeply grateful for every one of you who has already turned in your 2026 pledge card, whether in person or electronically. Your pledges help us plan faithfully and responsibly. But for the sake of transparency, at this same time last year we had 56 pledges, which was less pledges, but totaling $307,720. And by the end of the campaign, we ultimately received 81 pledges totaling $451,566 towards this 2025 budget of $638,000. So what's different this year? And here's the part I really can't Ted Lasso my way around. We've had some major expenses around here. Over the past year, we've had to address significant building needs that couldn't be delayed any longer. The HVAC replacement was unavoidable, especially after going through a summer without air conditioning. We've also dealt with multiple maintenance issues that came from years of deferred repairs, water pipes bursting, you remember that, electrical work and other infrastructure needs that simply had to be fixed to keep our buildings safe, usable, and welcoming. These were faithful investments in the ministry and mission of this church, but they were also costly, and they impact the financial picture we're facing as we look forward to 2026. Furthermore, we also know that some beloved members have passed away. We also know that some families have moved away or are planning to move away. And we also know that the economy, along with the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, has made this a very difficult season for many. And because of that, we know that we simply do not have 81 giving units anymore. With nearly 60 pledges already in hand, we estimate, our giving team estimates that there are only maybe about 20, maybe 25 pledges still outstanding, which means this. Even if every one of those comes in, we will likely end up around $100,000 short of last year's pledged giving. And last year's budget, though, wasn't just made up of pledges alone. 2 endowments blessed us. There's the Enhanced Ministry Fund, and there's the Furthering Ministries Fund. So together, they contributed $186,434 to support things like youth ministry, the brass quintet, which we just heard, and other music programs, adult and children's programs, Bible camp, fellowship events, mission support, and more. But today, our Enhanced Ministry Fund is completely depleted. It has $0 in it. And the Furthering Ministry Funds, which was originally a $150,000 anonymous gift, is down to just $56,000. It cannot sustain the level of support it provided for this year, basically last year. So what this means, if this trend continues, we may be looking at a worst-case scenario of a $200,000 shortfall in 2026. A shortfall of that size would require really, really difficult decisions. Decisions that would impact many ministries that we love, including cuts to things like the women's and men's retreat, Kairos prison ministry that we heard about last week, mission support to Lake Ridge Fellowship House, our outreach to Dale City Elementary School, local hunger assistance efforts, and realistically the ability to even send a mission team to Guatemala in 2026. Now, I don't say all of this to alarm you. I say it because you deserve to know the truth. And before we go any further, I want to pause again to say thank you. Thank you to the Stewardship Campaign Task Force who faithfully led this campaign through the longest government shutdown in history and one of the most difficult economic seasons our community has ever faced. And thank you for your time and your creativity and your perseverance and your faith. And before I move on, I want to share one loving word of clarity. In times like this, folks often sometimes feel moved to give towards individual ministries, those that are our favorite programs, the ones we feel called to. We sometimes want to do this designated giving. And while that generally and that generosity sometimes comes from a beautiful place, what our church needs now most is support to our general ministry fund. Designated gifts, no matter how heartfelt, can't be used to pay the electrical bill. It can't keep our staff supported or keep the building open for worship or Bible camp or our community programs. If we want the ministries we love to thrive, they depend first on a strong, healthy general budget. So if you feel led to help, the very best gift that you can give this year is an undesignated pledge or an increase in your general pledge. That's what strengthens the whole body and allows every ministry under our big umbrella to flourish. Friends, this is your church. This is our church. And we are here for such a time as this. Now, before I offer an invitation, the stewardship and finance team wanted me to pass along one more helpful reminder, because apparently I'm not the only one who gets to make announcements today. In addition to the very normal, very Presbyterian ways of giving, cash, checks, and online pledges, we are also able to receive gifts of stock or other securities. Yes, that's right. It turns out that your church can accept actual grown-up investments, not just the coins that your kids find in the couch cushions. If that's a form of giving that works best for you, or your financial advisor has ever said, you know, this might be a good year for a stock gift, you can fill out a pledge card that says stock donation, or reach out to our treasurer at FUPCDC.org. But here's the invitation. If you have already pledged this year and you feel so led, and you are able to increase your pledge, even by a small amount, please pray about doing so. All you have to do is turn in a new pledge card, and it will replace the one you have already turned in. And if you have not yet pledged, please know that your pledge of any size truly matters. And if you cannot give more, please hear this clearly. Please hear this. We are grateful for you, for your presence, for your prayers, for your service, for your love. These are gifts too. Every pledge helps shine the light of Christ into a world that desperately needs hope, healing, and good news. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. Thank you for loving this church and its ministries. And thank you for being the kind of congregation where we can speak honestly, dream boldly, and trust that God is still leading us into the future together. Amen.